So, hello everybody. I'm glad some of you found your way to this short lightning talk, this little story of success with Java. And because it's lunchtime, of course, and I'm also really happy if this talk is over and we all can go to have some good food. Here is the QR code of Slido from Slido, so you can ask questions, and hopefully we come to get to answer some of those questions. And for me, my name is Stefan Böhringer. I'm a developer, researcher, and data scientist at the Department of Educational Data Science at the University of Regensburg in Germany. And today I want to tell you the story how Java helped us to overcome a lot of obstacles in building a web application, a special web application to measure reading competencies, which means reading skills, of primary school students across the whole state of Bavaria in Germany. And Bavaria, if you don't know it, it's one of the 16 states of Germany, and it's the largest in terms of area and the second largest in terms of population. And in this talk, I give you a little, or I show you a little bit about the motivations why we built this app and the role Java and the Java community played in accomplishing our success. So, reading matters. Reading is the basic competency or skill everybody has to build as a child to participate fully in our society. Imagine you can't read. Or just imagine you wander around Japan or China or Korea with all its iconographic writing system and you don't understand a word. You will feel very lost. And so do those who can't read. And you really must have the ability to read for just the basic daily communication in our modern societies. Just think of how often you use messaging apps, social media, and so on and so on. And you must have the ability to read to acquire new skills, new competencies, like math skills, like knowledge in history, like cooking skills, and so on. So reading is the very foundation of all our competencies or knowledge competencies we build up as human beings. So it's very important for a just society which wants all their members to participate equally and maturely and responsibly, that to teach their children how to read, and how to read regardless of gender, social and cultural background or economic status. But sadly, this is not the case. And especially in Germany, we always saw ourselves as a country of poets and thinkers and with a very good and efficient educational system, but it's not quite true. Those were the findings of the international screening by the OECD called PISA studies, conducted since the year 2000. And they measured the reading competency of school children and repeated these tests round about every 3 years, and the last one was from 2022. And still there, 19% of German primary school students are below a standard minimum of reading competency. But worse, there was a big gap not only between boys and girls, the so-called gender gap, but also between different groups of economical income. And other national German tests showed the same picture. So there is a big injustice in our educational system. So the question is, what we try to ask at the university level as a research question: what can we do? How can we adopt? How can we make our educational system better? And the steps are, I think, quite obvious. We need to support every child individually based on its abilities. And we have to measure its competency, its skills continually for the teacher to give profound feedback and individual training. So at the University of Regensburg, we invented a training program to support and train reading skills. And we also invented a diagnostical tool where we can measure those reading skills and we can see if the training is really effective. But to this point, all those tests were just paper and pencil tests. So it is a very tedious work to get data from all the schools in Bavaria. So the State Ministry of Education and Culture came to us and they said that they wanted those tools to be digitalized and to diagnose as many children as possible and to give immediate feedback to the teachers. So they asked us at the department if we could build such a software, and well, we said yes. And this is where the problems, or let me say obstacles, came up. Because if I look backward, it was like an impossible thing to do for us. Because we had only a small team. We were just 5 people and only 3 of them knew how to program applications. We did so in the past with Python frameworks and JavaScript. Python is the thing we know the most and mostly statistical programming. But we knew from the start that this application is very heavy on the back-end side and we would need something reliable, scalable, and with lots of experienced developers who could support us, with whom we could work together. We had a very, very low budget initially to calculate with. It was in the lower 6-digit range. I mean, just imagine for the whole state you want to roll out such a software. And of course we knew it had to be open source software. And the scalability, yes, thousands of kids should work on the system simultaneously. So to scale, we wanted to run easily on Kubernetes from the start. And last but not least, the security issue. It is clear that there should be high security standards baked into the chosen software or framework, as we would operate with vulnerable personal data of little kids. And there was another requirement by the State Ministry. They wanted the complete user management to be run by their own school identity management system. So we had to connect to this as well. So in essence, what did we need? We needed something, I coined it a well-aged meat. We needed standards, standards, standards. We wanted to build quite a boring application, but a really stable one. And this is where the role of the Java user group community came into the story and the big role this community played for us and for me personally. Because a few years ago, means 4 to 5 years ago by now, a good friend of mine who worked with Java for 20 years or 25 years by now, he introduced me to a Java user group in my area, the Java user group Oberpfalz. And although I had nothing to do with Java at that time, I went with him and I was very abashed by the kindness and the openness. Also, I was not from the Java folks, but they were really open to me and I really liked this. So at the moment to decide with which tech stack we should go with, I thought to myself, well, what could Java actually do for us? It seems tested, well tested in different businesses, serious businesses, and it seems to be rock solid. So better check out this Java user group again. And as the devil wants, the topic, it was on October 11th, 2023 at a meetup by Adam Bean, and the topic was the Java Haters Meetup, where all kind of folks could come together and ask their questions. And there Adam Bean, some of you might know him from his YouTube channels, he gave a talk about Java, why it still matters, what changed, and how just cool it is and helps many different businesses and use cases. So I sat there in this room Yeah, and I asked my questions and they got answered. And there were some name drops like Quarkus, like Jakarta EE and Hibernate. So I got back home from this very intense meeting, and for the next weeks, I read everything I could about Quarkus and Jakarta and Hibernate, and I experimented with some dummy projects and prototyped some stuff. And what could I say? I was convinced that we should go with Java. But we also knew we needed support and backup. We can't do it by ourselves. So we were looking for capable and experienced Java developers to support us. And fortunately, we found the company XDev in our tendering and bidding process, which helped us to get started, trained us, and actively supported us in the development process. And the line at their booth, best buddies in code. I mean, it's it's true. Yeah, there were or are by now real buddies for us, real co-workers. They help us a lot in accomplishing this project. So, here for you, just a little glimpse of our tech stack. And as you can see, there's Java with the Quarkus framework right in the center, our engine, which drives all the business logic, which connects to the IDM management system and so on. And as you can see, it's quite a boring a stack, quite a boring architecture. It's not fancy microservices and so on, but it works. It's boring, but it works. It's reliable. It's fast, super fast. And here just some libraries of the Java ecosystem. We use again Quarkus at the center with its Jakarta EE libraries baked into and all the stuff around. I mean, the most things you know, and I want to go into technical details by now. You can ask me or my team later certain questions if you have technical questions. So what can I say? It just worked. In our first measurement slot, which was from November to December 2024, we brought our application to over 1,400 schools in Bavaria, and they have 2,200 primary schools, so we reached 65% of all primary schools in Bavaria, and we diagnosed the reading skills of over 180,000 primary school students, and we gave immediate feedback to over 9,000 teachers to keep on working with their classes. And for us, for the educational data sciences in Germany, these are amazing numbers. There has never been a longitudinal screening at this size, and there has never been so much direct feedback for teachers in this amount. And I can say for sure that in all this process, there were no failures or interruptions in terms of availability of the software or latency or something. And we got really, really positive feedback for our system. So in essence, my personal opinion why this project worked, it seemed really impossible, but why this worked, this is not mine. Okay. Of course, the team, the people we work with, they have the biggest role, of course. But second comes Java, and for me these 6 points stand out. Java is ripe, especially Jakarta EE, with its standards, which we can just use. And as I said, it's a well-aged and proven software you can rely on. It has this broad ecosystem you can just pull from and get the things working from the start. And for me especially, it has this evolutionary concept, because when I first got in touch with Java 20 years ago, 2003 or 2004, when I was at the university as a little student, Java felt really clunky, or I don't know, but it's so much, it feels so much different now when you work with Java. Just think about the streaming API. For me as a data enthusiast, to work with functional approaches is amazing. And to work with records, optionals, pattern matching, and all this modern Java stuff is really, really amazing, or was really surprising for me. I was really surprised. And for this, it's really easy to get started. I didn't think that it's so easy to get started with Java coming from other programming languages. And of course, the last and most important point for me was the big and diverse community. There were so much helping hands, people lending us a helping hand to get this project working. So thanks to the community. So we have some minutes left, so maybe you like to have a little showcase of the application. Here is our platform, and we test the reading speed of children. We also test how the understanding of a text. We ask very traditional questions on the text. They have to read text. We also assess the reading competency in a digital space, in a digital context, where we ask children meta questions about intentions of web articles, links, and digital discussions in social media. And it's more about reading critically and critical thinking. And we have a very nice and clean dashboard for the teachers, where they can quickly find the results of their classes and the individual students, and also see how the performance of the students increase or decrease compared to the other students, and so on. So they really can get quick feedback also to the parents. And we don't stop here. We not only want to diagnose children, we also want to provide support in teaching reading skills. So we build another application, or two other applications which train to read, where they have to do a lot of quizzes and so on. They follow interactive story, and believe it or not, in the back at the center there's Java all working this. And we also have plans to incorporate large language models to support the teachers in their doing. So everything with Java at the center as the engine. And we hope we can continue this journey with our platform to strengthen the equality in our educational system. So for now, thank you very much. You can get in contact with me afterwards if you have some questions, or here via LinkedIn or Mastodon. I have the handle Datenschauer with a little German play on words. But we can have a look into the Slido stuff. Oh, no. Where is my... Ah, here it is. But I think there are... Oh, no, this is really... But I think there are no questions. They would come up here. So I thank you all very, very much, and have a nice JCON, a nice time. Thank you.